I'm gonna show you exactly what to do with your nutrition if you wanna lose 10 pounds in 30 days. Now, I've been helping people lose weight for 15 years, and this is the exact framework that has worked the best, and I use this for literally all of my fat loss clients. And one of the best parts about this is that not only do they lose weight, but I've never once had a client complain of being hungry or feeling like they're starving themselves. So in this video, I'm gonna show you my 7 fundamentals of nutrition. I'll explain why they're so critically important, and then I'm gonna walk you through a day of eating so you can get a better understanding of how to put all these pieces together. Now, before we go over the example day of eating, we need to go over the 7 principles of nutrition and what parameters you absolutely must follow. And if you do this, you're gonna see a huge transformation. And the reason why I prioritize these is because when you're losing weight, it's really important to understand that the goal is to try to make energy production at the cellular level more efficient. And the best way to do this is by removing things from your food and lifestyle that promote inflammation, reducing exposure to environmental toxins, and addressing nutrient deficiencies or insufficiencies. And once you tackle these things, everything is just gonna work out in your favor and you're gonna start losing weight. So when it comes to the 7 nutrition principles though, why don't we get started? First, do not eat any ultra-processed foods because they often contain harmful ingredients like seed oils and omega-6 fatty acids. They're fortified with iron, and then they also contain a lot of sketchy additives and preservatives. And these foods also promote inflammation, contain environmental toxins, and contribute to nutrient insufficiencies. You're also gonna wanna hit your daily vitamin and mineral targets with whole foods and then supplement based on what vitamins and minerals you're not getting enough of. And using supplements should kind of be a last resort though, because you can generally hit your vitamin and mineral targets with food. Also, most supplements are generally pretty poor quality and unreliable too. Next, you're gonna wanna try to hit your protein targets every single day. And the best way to determine that is by downloading my macronutrient calculator on my website, metabolicupgrade.com. It also comes with an instruction video that's really, really helpful. And when it comes to your macros though, try to target a protein to energy ratio or PE ratio of 1. And these details are also gonna be in the instruction video of my macronutrient calculator. Now, another good goal is to try to balance your amino acids, which means that about 20 to 40% of your protein should be coming from collagen-based proteins. So things like bone broth, gelatin, and collagen. And then you're gonna wanna reduce your omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids as much as possible. Less than 5 grams a day is gonna be ideal. And if you're eliminating processed foods, these will significantly decrease by default. And then lastly, you should really try to eat organic as much as possible to reduce exposure to hormone disruptors. Now, there's a lot more that you can factor into a program, but sometimes less is gonna be more. And when people follow this approach, it works really, really well. It's actually kind of weird how well this works, but not only that, when my clients do this, they feel better, their hormones start to regulate, PMS symptoms improve, digestion improves, and their sleep improves too, which all supports a healing and healthy body. Okay, so now we're gonna jump into an app called Chronometer, and I use this with all of my clients so we can monitor 6 of the 7 fundamentals, and I'm gonna explain why we're only keeping track of 6 of them, and then I'm gonna give you some really helpful bonus tips throughout as well. And for this example, we're gonna be going over the nutrition for a man who's about 6 feet tall, so let's jump in. All right, so we're inside Chronometer right now, and we are gonna be looking at the nutrition for a man who's about 6 feet tall. And for this, we're gonna be targeting about 200 grams of protein, and we also wanna target that PE ratio of 1, which I will actually explain in a little bit. So for breakfast, we're gonna start with some coffee. We're gonna get some grass-fed beef gelatin in the coffee, and then we're sweetening it up with some honey, some raw organic honey. We're also gonna have some eggs cooked in butter, some raspberries, beef bone broth, and gelatin. And again, this is gonna be really important because we're gonna try to increase the amount of collagen-based proteins that we're getting. 20 to 40% of our protein should be coming from those collagen-based sources. And then we're also gonna be doing some Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. Now for lunch, we wanna do a little bit of hamburger. We're gonna have some sweet potato. We'll cook the sweet potato with a little bit of butter. And then we're also gonna have a little salad with some cucumber, green olives, and then also some lemon juice as well. Now for dinner, we're gonna have some salmon. We're gonna cook some asparagus and some butter. And then we're gonna have another little salad too. So we have more cucumber. We're gonna do carrots, and then we're gonna mix all of that with some olive oil, some coconut oil, apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of raw lemon. Then we're gonna also have a couple of oranges as well. And then we're gonna have some more beef bone broth and some gelatin, again, to get those collagen-based proteins. And that's pretty much gonna be it. And if we look at our macronutrients, so again, we're targeting 200 grams of protein. We exceeded that, which is totally fine. So we got 211 grams of protein. And then when it comes to our PE ratio, we wanna have a PE ratio of 1. So what is a PE ratio? So the PE ratio is basically just your protein divided by your energy. So E is energy, P is protein. And your energy is gonna be your net carbs plus fat. So 85 plus 117. So that is gonna be really close to being a PE ratio of 1. So we've done our protein targets. We got our PE ratio of 1. Moving on to our micronutrients. So we see that we hit 99% of our vitamins, 97% of our minerals. I generally recommend that my clients try to achieve about 90% of their micronutrient targets at the very least. So this is really good. I really like seeing that. Now we can take a deeper dive into our vitamins and our minerals here. So everything that's green means that we've hit our vitamin and mineral targets on this side. And except our vitamin E is a little bit low. And I'm gonna explain vitamin E as one of the little bonus tips too. So we'll talk about that in a second. And then right here, from a mineral perspective, it looks like we're doing really well. However, we're a little bit short in magnesium here. And this is gonna be pretty common for a lot of people, which is why I generally recommend that a lot of people supplement with a really high quality magnesium glycinate supplement. And then lastly, we have our omega-6 fatty acids right here. So I'm sure you noticed that we didn't eat any ultra processed foods. We were focusing on whole natural sources of foods, and we got our omega-6s down to about 5.3 grams. So right around that 5 gram mark, which is pretty good. So this is something that can be done literally by everyone. I use Chronometer because you can actually get access to your vitamins and minerals, which is really, really great. And then it just gives you a lot of really great information on your macronutrients. And then it's just a really nice, easy tool to use. So highly recommend it. Highly recommend trying to build out your program this way and focusing on getting your micronutrients, prioritizing your protein, getting your collagen-based protein, not eating any ultra-processed foods, and then also focusing on limiting and reducing those omega-6 polyunsaturated fats too. So if you follow these recommendations, you're gonna crush it, but there's a couple of issues with Chronometer that are really important to understand, and I'm gonna clear them up right now. Now, when you're logging your food, use the most generic versions of the food because they typically contain more listed nutrients, which are gonna be your vitamins and your minerals. So though I recommended eating organic, when logging your food, just use the most generic form so you can have more data. Now, if you use a specific brand that's more obscure, they're very likely not gonna have all of the vitamins and all the minerals listed. So you may not get an accurate reflection of what micronutrients and vitamins and minerals you're actually consuming. Another thing is that when it comes to vitamin E, which is an antioxidant and helps reduce inflammation and supports hormone function, nutrition data often comes from averages and not detailed tests on specific food types or preparations. So for example, meat, eggs, and dairy may have quite a bit more vitamin E in it if animals ate vitamin E rich foods and if they had higher quality nutrition. But some of the standardized data might not fully capture these differences, leading to lower reported values. And that's why it's always best to get the highest quality foods that you can. And if you're logging your food and you feel like you're not getting enough vitamin E, you actually might be, as long as you're eating those high quality foods. Now, there's another really big problem with all this though, and that's a lot of people really need more support and have a hard time staying consistent. And if you want additional help with your nutrition, losing weight, and transforming your body, I'm launching an online community where you're gonna get direct access to me, my nutrition and fitness programs, and then also help guide and support you along the way. So click the link in the description to learn more.